JCE results were released yesterday, and these students were doing anything and everything to make sure they go to senior school, including malpractice. 31 cases of maladministration and malpractice were recorded, of which 25 cases were malpractice by the students. Just to put things into perspective, in 2024, there were only 7 cases of malpractice. In 2023, there were only 4 cases. 2022, there were no cases. And 2021, there were no cases of malpractice. So these students were really driven to make sure they get to where they need to get. In one of the malpractice cases, one legend went into the exam room with his phone hidden in his jersey, with the intent of using ChatGPT to help him in a mathematics paper. That is crazy. In one incident that involved 3 candidates, there was a fire incident that was reported at the center before the exam started. And 3 candidates smuggled the question paper out of the exam room. And they approached one of the candidates for help, and they were caught, and unfortunately they had to be disqualified. This is saddening though. But you have to admire the grit, the determination, and willpower to succeed at all costs. In 2 instances, the examiners observed the use of offensive or obscene language or graphic in the scripts of the candidates. And here's the irony. One of those subjects was moral education. And moral education, it is the study of what is right or wrong. Clearly, the learning outcomes here did not land. And one of the papers was a science paper. So, how bad was the language used here that has to be offensive? Science, almost anything can go there, It's open because it's integrated science. All the sciences are in there. But I think this one will drop your jaw. In one of the cases, there were 19 reported centers in which all the art students were accused of colluding, possibly with AI. And an investigation was done ascertaining this by BEC in 18 of the centers. One of the centers is still under investigation. Unfortunately, this seems to be some sort of a trend with the art department, because in 2023 there was an investigation in which candidates confirmed that teachers handed them complete pieces. Further to this, the teachers interviewed at the centers revealed that there was a general practice of assisting candidates and or providing them with pre-worked pieces during the exam. It was established that the candidates that were normally assisted would submit more than one piece, and in certain instances there would be photocopies of work stamped and submitted as original work. This is concerning our department. There was a lot going on with this exams, with the invigilators having their own share of maladministration. They would open wrong papers, but that's general trend throughout the years, which back is yet to really get under control. But on top of that, there was one peculiar case in which the chief invigilator ended up being suspended for a period of 2 years for their negligence, because there was a student who had special needs and they had a reader scribe, and they somehow handed in a paper that was blank, and the correct paper was found at the center. One thing that we have to give back credit for is their level of transparency with their investigations, and they publish all this. They are one of few government institutions that are really transparent with their investigation processes, and I think it's commendable, and I hope these cases will probably go down as time goes on. If any of the students who were writing the exams are watching, please let me know. Did you cheat? Were you able to cheat and get away with it? I'm just curious, You can use a fake account or something, because I am really intrigued by the level of 2025 JCE results are out, and we have a 40% credit pass. 40% of the candidates got a grade C or better. Even more intriguing is that we have more U's than we have a quality pass of at least grade B. 16% of the candidates got a U, and 14.4% of the candidates got grade B or better. But this is not unique, it's not different. This is the same template that we have been having since 2021. For the past 4 years, the JCE results have been having the same monotone template. We have more U's than there are students who get grade B or better. And the credit pass is around 35% or so. This is nothing unique. The only difference is that now we have a bigger number assigned to those percentages. That's all. In 2023, for example, we had 16% of candidates getting a grade U, which is the same 16% we have now. So nothing special about the 16% that we have now. Only that 16% of a bigger number is a big number as well. If anything, this cohort is actually doing better than the other cohorts, because since 2021, the quality pass and the credit pass have been increasing by at least 1% up until now. There is a problem. People are very angry at the results. There have been a lot of reports on social media, people saying, the new government is failing the students and other things like that. And I think we're angry, but maybe we're not even angry enough. Because if you look at it, a 40% credit pass is really bad. Now imagine you buy 10 cans of Coke, and only 4 of those 10 cans really taste like Coke. The other 6 taste like water or watered down Coke. They don't taste anything like real Coke. So it is a problem that we are really having, because if you as a consumer, you wouldn't continue buying that Coke, So the education at secondary level as we have it, it is not really good at instilling knowledge, because most of the candidates do not retain it. More people who go through secondary school fail than pass. This is concerning. But how do we start looking at the problem? Is the problem at the ministerial level or at the local institutions? That I cannot say, but I'll tell you one thing for sure. Primary schools and junior secondary schools, they are all under the Minister of Basic Education. Looking back at these candidates, this cohort, in 2022, they were writing PSLE exam, and 70% of them got grade C or better. So these are like really, really good candidates. And a good percentage of them, around 36% of them, got grade B or better, having more A's than B's in that 36%. So these are really, really strong candidates. But you put them through junior secondary school, at the end, what you have is terrible. You have half the credit pass, and you have a negligible quality pass. So what is really going on? How can two kind of institutions, both under the same ministry, have so many different results? Could it be the infrastructure or many other problems? Let's get a closer look at the results. You'd realize that in agriculture, a core subject, which is done by almost all the students who are taking JCE, it has a project. There's multiple choice paper. There's a structured paper. And this subject is able to give you close to 50% in credit pass, which is really good. And they've been consistently doing good numbers since 2021. And I think other subjects could learn and benchmark from these guys. The next subject that comes second in them has around 39%. It's a big gap between what agriculture is doing and what moral education is doing, because it's number 2 after that. And moral education doesn't even have a project. So how can a subject which has less workload fail to match a subject that has so much workload? And after that, you have subjects like English, social studies lagging behind consistently for 4 years or so. So what is really happening that agriculture department can somehow cope with it, even though they have so much workload that the other subjects, the other core subjects, can't manage with? You can let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you.